we're gonna go to Rebound Sports and Physical Therapy. And so they have a physical therapist, Anna Towne, who specializes in working with pregnancy and postpartum.
All right, so I am Dr. Anna Towne, and I am a physical therapist at Rebound Sports and Physical Therapy. Okay, so go ahead and set this exercise up just how you've been doing it, and let's just go ahead and look at your form. So with pregnancy, after 20 weeks and beyond, we do want to be careful with back-lying exercises. Baby is sitting on the abdominal aorta, and so we want to make sure that Katie's not feeling lightheaded, dizzy, any type of nausea. If she is, what we would do is just have her roll over to her side, take a break, maybe do another exercise or two, and then come back on your back. So we've talked about that a lot with these back-lying exercises. We don't do a lot of them, and when we do them, they're not very long. Yeah, so perfect. Yep, so go ahead and show me one of the reps with the balloon, and then actually let me go ahead and grab a ball between your knees too.
Oh yeah.
All right,
so slight squeeze between the knees, a little bit of a pelvic tilt, engaging the hamstrings.
Exhale through that mouth, long and slow and full. Good, rib cage dropping down towards the table. Perfect. Good, one more here. Inhale through that nose. Good, exhale all the way, all the way, all the way. Good, that one was awesome. Good, hold at the end of the exhale. Good, perfect, and then go ahead and relax. So again, like we talked about, there's a lot of laxity throughout the entire body, but especially in the pelvis, which is going to greatly affect her running. And so what we're doing is we're squeezing a ball, and that's going to activate those adductors and keep that, again, pelvis in a good position. And then we're also having her dig her heels into a chair or stool, and that's gonna get those hamstrings engaged. So both adductors and hamstrings attach to that pelvis, and they help keep that pelvis in a neutral position. Then the reason I have her hands on her rib cage is because breathing matters so much in pregnancy and in postpartum. A lot of pregnant moms actually develop faulty breathing patterns in pregnancy, and then those carry on into postpartum. And so we're really focusing on the exhale and a full exhale. With pregnancy, what happens is our rib cage starts to flare more and more as the baby grows, right? So you'll notice that those ribs are flaring out and spreading further apart, which is normal and natural, right? But what happens is they can get stuck there. Okay, and so we want rib cages that move, and so a good full exhale will get that rib cage to move like we want it to, and so we don't get stuck in that flared position. Okay, so again, a lot of these things are setting the stage for postpartum, and so we don't have a ton of work to do postpartum to correct all of these faulty patterns. So this is going to be one of Katie's most frequent exercises. So she's doing it daily. We found this one really early on when you started having the right round ligament pain.
Yeah.
And so what we found is, again, because of Katie's asymmetries, she was just having pain on her right side and not on her left. And so we're only going to have her do this exercise on your right hand. You would never do it on your left, right? So what the goal is for her to get expansion on this right apical wall or side ab wall. And then we actually want to get activation or contraction on the left side abs. And so it's a weird looking exercise, I know, but it has, I mean, you came back and you're like, I don't have the round ligament pain.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Like, it was an immediate response. Like I went to the track. I hadn't been able to because of so much like just sharp stitching on the right side. And then I just got this right side to open up and the left side to turn on, which is what I was feeling in the tests. And then, I was able to continue running like after that.
Yeah, which is awesome. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do a couple reps here. Just show them kind of what you're doing. So yeah, big inhale, good, and then exhale all the way, good. So yep, she's gonna expand here as much as possible, and then again, get that left abs on, good. So again, inhale, expand, good, and then exhale, bring that left rib cage down towards the hip, good, as much as possible, good. Perfect. Good. One more inhale again. Expand as much as you can. Good. And then exhale. Good. Good. Perfect. That looks good. How's it feel?
Good. I am feeling like I'm getting that expansion through there, and then kind of where it was hard to activate. I feel like that's like, oh, okay, we know what's going on.
Okay, good. Yeah, your form looks really good. Obviously, it's going to be harder to do as baby gets bigger, right? Yeah. Which we expect.
Right now, it's still manageable.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks like you're getting that right apical expansion and then left ab wall on, which is
I feel like I'm feeling the right things.
Yeah. Good. All right, so earlier we were talking about the importance of your core in pregnancy, but again, it's hard to know what are you supposed to do for your core in pregnancy. And that was actually Katie's, one of your main questions was, I'm scared of core. I don't know what to do. Rightfully so. You don't want to do anything that will create long-term damage. And so what I recommend is doing a lot of hands and knee core exercises, and then a lot of sideline core exercises. So in these positions, we can still isolate the right muscles, and we can also integrate muscles together, but again, not in stomach lying positions and not in back lying positions. And so we've been doing a lot of sideline exercises together, and they've been going really well. And so let's go ahead and set this one up in here. So this is going to be an exercise that, again, we're going to really focus on specifically her left, because that left side abs has a hard time activating and firing. And with the quick screen that we did at the beginning of the session, we noticed that left side was a little delayed on that left side ab wall compared to the right. So let's do this one, and then we could even retest, and hopefully it'll fire better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Good. So she's gonna keep her feet together, keep her knees together, and then she's gonna really try and be in a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt here. Put her weight through her left elbow, and then really focus on her breathing. So I always kind of give the analogy that there's like a bonfire here, and you want to lift that left side ab up as high as possible. One more breath. Good. And then exhale all the way out. Good. Good breathing. Good. And then go ahead and come on down nice and slow.
And it might look like these exercises are really simple, but they are challenging for me, at least.
No, they're challenging for everyone. This exercise, a lot of people are like, oh, that looks easier than a normal side plank. I would actually argue if you're doing this one correctly, this sideline trunk lift should be more challenging. And the key is being in a really compact position. So she is in a 90-degree angle at her hips, 90-degree angle at her knees. And then again, she's tilting that pelvis as much as possible, keeping her back nice and rounded and relaxed so those paraspinal muscles don't kick in. And then she's really focusing on that side ab wall and pulling that up. Again, getting that left rib cage down to her left hip. So that looks really good. But yeah, it's not just hard for you. It's hard for everyone. Okay, so this is a great activation or firing exercise. So what happens is as our rib cage and pelvis position changes, those core muscles are stretching out, and we kind of forget how the brain forgets how to communicate with those muscles. Okay, that neuromuscular connection is affected in the negative way. Okay, so what we're trying to do is really get, again, brain muscle connection and that firing or that activation to happen, because every time you hit a stride, right leg, left leg, we need everything stable on that side. Okay, so running a single leg sport, we need left side to fire just as well as the right side. And you weren't today, so we want to make sure we balance that out. So we'll do this on both sides, but let's show it on this side first. So go ahead and demonstrate how you've been doing this exercise. So a really good pelvic tilt first. Yep, good. And then I have her legs, slightly tilted forward, just because that's gonna help keep that back relaxed. Yep. And then, so here in this position, you should already feel glute med, side hip activating a little bit. Good. So she's going to use that top hand to help stabilize her, and then go ahead and lift that bottom leg up, and then hold here for a good couple seconds if you can. This is very challenging. Try and keep your neck relaxed. Good. And then slowly lower both legs together. Good. So what you're going to be feeling, did you feel a lot in that side ab wall? Yeah, good. So this is another exercise you can do throughout the entire pregnancy. If it's feeling okay, go ahead and do a couple more here. So again, obliques are so important for us as athletes, and also just for general population, pregnant ladies. It's really important for those obliques to be strong and to be firing and activated. Good. Perfect. And slowly come on down. Good, that's awesome. So I would comment on this, that it's really common for moms just to have really tight back muscles, really overactive back muscles as our pelvis tilts forward. Those back muscles like to be on all the time. And so that's why we're really cueing for pelvic tilt and getting those low abs to engage. So breathing, again, I can't emphasize how important it is in pregnancy and postpartum. It's actually the first thing we can return to in postpartum. And so that's a huge part of postpartum rehab is our breathing and our breath. Okay, so hands and knees is an awesome position for core strengthening in pregnancy. And the nice thing in it is that we can be in it throughout all of pregnancy and pretty early on in postpartum, we can get back in this position. And so what we're going to be doing in this position is really focusing on breath. And so what happens is, again, rib cages start to become very immobile and not moving. And also that back, that mid-back, mid-spine, that thoracic spine, you lose some of the natural neutral spine curvature that we want, and then it becomes hypomobile. So you lose some of that rotation and some of that movement in that spine. So that's really what we're trying to gain with this exercise. Okay. So go ahead and set it up how you've been doing it. So we're going to really round that mid back. Okay. Keeping that gaze straight down. So what we don't want to see is, again, you don't want to raise those shoulders up towards those ears. So that looks really good. And then as much of a posterior pelvic tilt as you can, which again is going to be more challenging as baby grows, right? Yeah. But that looks great. So yeah, inhale through the nose for about 3 seconds, really breathing into the shoulder blades, really breathing into that sports bra. Good. And then exhale through your mouth. Good. And so as she's exhaling, she's actually going to be pushing the table away from her to really work on that scapular retraction. So inhale, expand that back. Good. And then exhale all the way out. Again, this is an area that really can stiffen up. And what happens is, if she would, again, postpartum, go back to running with a stiff spine, she's going to have injuries and breakdown, maybe not in this area, but down the chain. So it's really important for us to have a thoracic spine that moves and that rotates, and also that can get breath into it. I actually, through my own experience as a mom athlete, and also through my clinical experience of working with a lot of patients that are either in the pregnancy stage or the postpartum stage, I have actually created a program that I'm very passionate about. It used to be a program that we did in person, and then we realized how hard it is for moms to find childcare and get to the clinic at the same time for all of us to be in person. So now it's actually virtual, and it's been awesome. So it's a 12-week program, and all of the classes are on demand, and so you can access them at your own time. And so what it is it is a postpartum focused program for core and pelvic floor. And so what we address is repositioning, and so we want to get that pelvis and rib cage back into a good position. So good posture is a rib cage that stacks over a pelvis. And a lot of times, again, as moms, what happens is that rib cage flares and that pelvis rotates forward, and we get stuck there. And when we get stuck there, we end up with a lot of injuries. Even if you don't go back to athletics, you can end up with injuries if you stay in that position. Then the other thing we do is, again, we work on that neuromuscular connection, so that brain body firing. And so we want to get all of our core muscles to fire again, that transversus abdominis, those oblique muscles, our pelvic floor, our diaphragm, all of that is included in the core, and all of that's included in the program. So it's a great program. It's been able to help a lot of moms, some of them elite athletes, and some of them kind of your average recreational athlete, and some of them just trying to be moms that are trying to live pain-free lives. And so I actually have a page that I recommend you guys all go to called Strong Core Mama, and I release little Strong Core Mama minutes videos that address topics like back pain and diastasis recti and all of these common injuries that moms have as they're trying to return to fitness and life pain-free.